the bed and massaged her feet. My grandfather used to bring me here as far back as I can remember. He knew the owner in those days. We would have great adventures in Le Jardin de Luxembourg. At least they seemed adventures to me then, exploring the woods or racing our sailing ships in the pond. Sometimes we would visit an intriguing woman who lived nearby. He said she was a dear and special friend. She was beautiful and made the most delicious madeleine. I've never forgotten them, or her. Catherine smiled again. Of course a favorite memory of yours involves food, even from childhood. I'm amazed it wasn't cheese. Pourquoi pas? Philippe chuckled and lightly tickled the sole of her foot before he stood up. And speaking of food, we should get ready for our dinner reservation. But first, let's be flaneurs. Paris is the best city to stroll in when it is raining. I can't explain it exactly, but I believe you will love it. It will give you peace. Je te promets. Let's go, but I don't feel hungry yet. I'm not even bringing my camera. All I can think about is Molly and life and death. Hopefully a walk will replace this despair with hope. I want to savor every moment with you until I have to leave tomorrow. Philippe nodded sympathetically as he opened the door for Kat and took her hand. It's a terrible worry, c'est vrai. But let's try our best to think positive thoughts of Molly to get through this day. We'll help each other. He collected an umbrella from the stand near the hotel entrance. Grasping its wooden handle, he put his arm around Catherine, and they set off through the narrow cobblestone streets of the Bohemian-flavored Latin Quarter. The oversized green umbrella gave broad protection that was hardly necessary as their bodies molded together. The rain had lessened in intensity. The day-long soaking had created a palette of grays from the cobblestone lanes to the slate rooftops. You always told me Paris was romantic in the rain, and now I see why, Kat said, snuggling even closer. There's a softness in the air, and everything seems to blend together. I feel like we're walking through an impressionist painting. Catherine became caught up in Philippe's stories of the artists and philosophers whose lives had colored the history of the area. La Rive Gauche evokes images of Toulouse-Lautrec, Matisse, Josephine Baker, Picasso, Hemingway, Stein, Fitzgerald, that amazing cast of characters of Les Années Folles. The crazy years, one of my favorite periods to read about. The arts were so alive. Catherine added, then things changed so dramatically after the war, with good reason. Existentialism and civil rights issues took over, with thinkers like Sartre, de Beauvoir, Camus, Baldwin. A rich time again, don't you think? I devoured Sartre's work when I was in university and loved knowing all those luminaries walked these streets. I like discovering we shared the same interests in years past, although I must admit I devoured more cheap wines and philosophy in university, Philippe said. Let me clarify. Even though it was cheap, it was usually smooth and full-flavored. We were devotees of the vine. He grinned at the flood of memories. Another benefit of studying in France, Catherine teased. Closing her eyes and inhaling deeply, she said, and there's another benefit, the local pâtisseries. Everyone is lining up for the afternoon baguette. It smells divine. Before long, they spilled out onto the tree-lined Boulevard Saint-Michel with its historic fountain. Groups of students were milling about in what was now a light drizzle, heading to the metro after their day of studies in the university halls and buildings. Philippe steered Kat through the busy crowd toward the Seine. He told her the history of each bridge they passed, and Catherine expressed disappointment at the shuttered and locked green stands as they made their way along the river. That rain was too much for even les bouquinistes today. They stopped at the Pont des Arts.